Well, we're still with Ronald the Rover. Ronald's in prime position now. There's Hosana in the background, so you can see they're quite close together, and there's no real stress from Hosana at all. He's just kind of looking over at Ronald every now and then, but there's no worries. So we're going to try and see if we can drive Ronald a little closer, because we can't see him from, although Hosana looks like he's going to come and say hello. Are you going to come see what Ronald is? Let's see. We're going to slowly move Ronald. Well, welcome to those viewers that have just joined us for this live action broadcast from sunny South Africa. We have a leopard and a very cool new toy that we are trying to see how it works. So we have a thing called Ronald the Rover. Now, Ronald the Rover, as you can see there, is in the grass. Now, Ronald has got a camera attached to him with two little antennas, and they are going to go slowly towards where this leopard is and see if we can get a sort of squirrel or maybe a tortoise sort of view. Here he comes, look at this. Now this is a live broadcast, so you can ask questions or just tell us how you feel about the leopard coming to see Ronald in the comment section below. Look, there we go. There's Hosana, he's coming to see him. Look, there's a little sniff from Hosana. So that's the young male leopard. He's just investigating. No, don't break my Rover. Yes, you can sit there. That's fine. Look at that. Isn't that the most insane view? And this is live. It is 100% live, which means that you guys can ask questions, like I say, and let me know what you think of this different view of a cat that is lying now. Like, he's a very wild leopard, and so he's the perfect leopard for this because he's the most relaxed of our males that we've got. He's still a young male. He's less than 2 years old, and he's very curious, and so he likes to kind of see what goes on. And so see, he's just having a little look around and just checking what it is. Of course, this is something new to him, and so it's more tortoise or something. Now we'll try and just sorry, Hosana. So he's just having a look. The problem is I don't want him to bite our camera and eat it, because if he eats it, then we've got a bit of a problem, because otherwise we're going to have bits of camera everywhere. But there you go. You can see now he's just watching and having a little look. And that is the most ridiculous view you'll ever get of a leopard. You can see he's also kind of just looking away and is not too phased by what's going on. So what we're going to probably try and do is just try and retract him a little bit, because I don't want him to be too close. Like I say, isn't awesome that he came up to it. Also, there are other vehicles that want to come here that have got tourists in it, and so we don't want a camera that is in the shot with the tourists that are coming in to have a look. So we are in a reserve where people come from all over the world to come and see, and so I don't think they're going to want to see a little rover in it. So we're going to just try and move him back a little bit and just see if he'll come slowly back towards where the car is. So we're going to leave our male leopard slowly but surely. So there we go. How cool is that? That is ridiculous. So it's as cool as one could ever possibly ask for. And like I say, it's just an amazing thing to be a part of, to be able to see this whole process in action. It's the first time that we've ever used it with a leopard, and the first time we've seen a reaction from a leopard. So we're just going to pull him back a little bit. So there comes Rover slowly backwards towards the car. Like I say, we just don't want to give the guests a shock when they see a little vehicle. Now, Peggy, you want to know how old this leopard is? He's about 2 years old now, so he's just kind of been left by his mom about a year ago, which was very early in life. It's a situation where, you know, he got abandoned a little early, but he's done super well. He's, like I say, one of our most relaxed leopards, and he's just such an absolutely epic animal to spend a lot of time with. And he's actually sitting here because he's got a kill at the moment. So he's got a situation where he's just made a kill and he's put it up in the tree, and so he's resting up in the shade. So that's why he's relaxed with us. And like I said, I'm just going to bring this little rover back towards me, and it takes a bit of practice to get used to kind of panning and sort of moving everything. There we go. So Robin, you're wondering if they ever take off with equipment. Now Robin, we're not 100% sure, because this is, like I say, the first time we've ever tried this. We've never had a rover before that has gone towards a leopard. The elephants absolutely love it, and they kind of will stomp on it every now and then. Either, but we've never tried with the leopard. So the thing is he might have got into a situation where he might have kind of made off with it, but now he's decided he's not too perturbed. The fact that it kind of retreated away from him, you can see he's just now happy to watch in the distance and just kind of have a look at what it is, and hopefully he won't come and chew on it. He doesn't seem too perturbed by it at all, but that is just the most insane view of a wild leopard you're ever going to get. Like I said, it's impossible to really get the view like that any other way, and it gives you an idea of just how big they are, and you can see just the sort of size of his chest, and his sort of head area is massive, even for a leopard that is under 2 years old. You can imagine if he becomes, 4, 5, 6-year-old leopard, he'll be absolutely huge. He's going to get a much bigger head and shoulders, and he's going to really become a massive individual. So that is really one of the most insane things I've ever seen, and I've been guiding for quite some time, but to get that view on a leopard is pretty unbelievable. Brenda, you're wondering what kind of kill he's got? Well, he's got an impala. Now, an impala for us is basically like a medium-sized, well, it's like a deer, so it's a medium-sized antelope. You can see it's draped over the branches there. He's probably been here, I would say, if not from last night, early hours of last night, then yesterday, because he's eaten the whole back end of it, and then up towards the sort of chest area. You can see some of the intestines there, so for those of you that are squeamish, it's best to look away probably now. So he's opened that up and he's started to feed off it, and that's why he's kind of panting quite a bit, is more because he's a little hot and he's a little kind of built up with heat, and all this meat is pushing up on his lungs, so his breath is much shorter than what you would see normally. So that's why he's a little kind of panty, and he's also, like I say, trying to just kind of get himself a little bit more cool. And you'll see he's completely relaxed now. He's not even in the remotely worried about the rover now that the rover has retreated back slightly. And we can actually still see him with the rover. You can just see his head kind of poking out the top of the grass. He's really not sort of too stressed. So let me try to get out the way there, Dave. There we go. So the rover's right up against my tire at the moment, and it's just kind of watching him from there, and you can see him just panting away. And if he was concerned about this or worried about it, he, one, wouldn't have approached it, and two, he would have run away from it. And you can see there's completely the opposite reaction from him. He's just kind of very relaxed with it. But that is just the most insane thing. Are you going to go to sleep? No, big yawn, which might indicate that he might stand up a little bit, or he's going to decide to have a nap in the shade there. It's been a hot day today, so I'm not sure that he's really going to be too active just yet. I think he's going to wait for that sun just to go down a little further. Right, that is all we have time for though on this action broadcast. I hope you absolutely loved a very different view of a leopard from Ronald the Rover. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and remember, we do safaris twice a day for 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. We'd love for you to join us on wildsafariLive.com. But until Right, so that's the end of our action broadcast, and how ridiculously crazy was that view of Hosana with his kind of face over and above near the rover. It is absolutely insane to think that we can, like I say, not only do it with one thing, but we can do it with another. And so I think Hosana's coming just to see it again. He wants to just come and check it out. He's busy looking up at me at the moment. Let's go back to the rover and look at that. He's just slowly kind of coming in and having a little look. Now, Hosana, you're not allowed to eat Ronald. Ronald is still a precious commodity, and James would like to use Ronald for the near future, particularly for the upcoming TV shows. But yes, you can sit right there. That is the most ridiculous view that we could ever ask for of a leopard. I mean, it's just insane to think. And not only that, the fact that he's not even a meter away from the car just gives you an idea of how trusting Hosana is with all of this. Like I said, it was the only leopard we were ever going to really be able to get this right with. But how amazing has that turned out? Now, I know some people might be a little bit against it and might have a situation where they think that we're messing around and we're not really, doing things right. But the thing is that vehicles at some point were also an invasive part of this, and it was, this is all to try and sort of see if we can get a different look into the lives of these animals and just try and see a different perspective of what they look like. And if an animal like this who's not too concerned about it and is not too worried can sit and watch, then, well, why not? I mean, look at that. Is that not so cool? If you ever wanted to know what it looks like, like to be a part of Hosana's sort of world and what he looks like and what his eyes see, well, there we go. You can see what it's like. And look how tall he is. I mean, this is a very wide-angle lens. It's a massively wide lens. And so he's just kind of having a look. And there we go. He's going to depart the scene, and he's going to lie down on the other side. Now, I'm going to try and just twist Ronald. I've got to just remember which side it is. So we're going to just turn Ronald a little bit and see if we can get Hosana. There we go. So Ronald is moved now and is now sort of looking at Hosana right now. There we go. So I just want to turn him a little bit more just to try and get, there we go. So there is the view of Hosana, who's got this pretty sunset behind him, watching Ronald the Rover. Yes, Hosana, what are you looking at me for? You see, he's looking at me as well, as if to say, what have you done? Have you brought your kids to work today? And have you decided that you want to show off your child? Because that's how he's kind of looking at me, as if to say, what is this thing that is walking around here and why is it here? But he seems to be very... Man, I wonder if he thinks Rover is a baby Jigger. Maybe he does. Hopefully Rover doesn't give us the same number of problems that Jigger does, but maybe that's what he thinks. I wonder if he thinks there's little people inside there. That would be also quite funny. I think I would absolutely love that if he thought maybe something was going on. But either way, he's completely not really... Now he's not really actually even looking at it. He looks at me more than he looks at the Rover, to be honest, which is pretty insane. So he's just heard somebody sneeze. That's why he's looked away. But... this has just been the most insane thing that I've ever done. How ridiculous are these shots? This is amazing. So, like I say, for any of you that wondered what it was like to see a leopard from the ground and to be a tortoise, well, now you know what impending doom looks like when a leopard approaches you as a tortoise. So, very, very, very cool to see. Like I say, technology absolutely astounds me, and the fact that we can get views like this is just absolutely ridiculous. Right, though, unfortunately, that is all we have time for this afternoon. It's been just the most ridiculous afternoon, and our patience has paid off in terms of just sitting here and waiting to give Ronald a chance. And the fact that we sent Ronald out on its maiden voyage with the leopard, I think, couldn't have gone any better than it has. Now, of course, we still need to retrieve Ronald, so we'll see. But anyway, from myself and from all the others that have been out and about this afternoon, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow on the Sunrise Safari.